Good morning. It's Monday the 1st of May 2023 and this morning I've come to the Rivelin Valley. The Rivelin Valley has a great industrial history. 20 mills were housed here, all of which are now gone, but many of the dams remain, havens for wildlife and recreational spots for the residents of Sheffield. I'm climbing up away from the A57 now, which will be nice. Get away from the traffic. So just gone 8 in the morning and it's busy already. But today's Peak District walk all falls within Sheffield, and I've not done this walk at all before. Completely new. Don't know this part of the Peak District. You know, I've driven along the A57 a few times before now, along this stretch, but that's about as close as to exploring the Rivelin Valley as I've ever got. So I'm really looking forward to today's walk as a result. The track up which I was steadily climbing soon passed Lawns Farm. At the top, I went over a stile to follow a narrow path off to the right. In less than a third of a mile, the path led onto Woodbank Road. Here, I turned sharp left to follow the lane in a westerly direction. At the next junction, I went left, soon following Moorwood Lane, from where I had wonderful views across the Rivelin Valley and beyond. Oh, this is lovely. Starting to get a bit windy now, but I am rather exposed up here, so it's not surprising. Got some lovely views though. Supposed to be sort of walking just above the Rivelin Valley and get these lovely views. So, we're now into May. May, of course, being the best month of the year. Well, as with every May Day bank holiday week, I've taken this week off. So, that's been tradition. I don't think I've ever gone to work during the May Day bank holiday week, because of course my birthday falls this week. Actually, this year, my birthday is the 6th of May, but this year it falls on Saturday. But more importantly, this Saturday is Coronation Day. So King Charles is getting crowned the same day as my birthday. Flippin' heck, Charles, talk about steal my thunder. Well, I'm still going to be doing my own thing on Saturday. I'm not particularly interested in sitting at home watching the coronation. I mean, nowadays there'll be plenty of clips shown on TV anyway, and it'll be available on iPlayer, I'm sure. So I don't think I'm going to really miss it, even if I don't actually watch it whilst it happens. But no, I'm still going to enjoy my birthday as I normally would, and enjoy a meal in the evening, which I'm going to do. Yeah. I'm going for an Indian again this year, which will be nice. Yeah. At Ronxley Hall Farm, I went left to walk down the hill on Ronxley Lane. Reunited with the A57, I followed it for about a quarter of a mile, as far as Hollow Meadows, where I went down a track to enter Wyming Brook Nature Reserve. Well, I'm still in the Rivelin Valley, but I've actually now entered the Wyming Brook Nature Reserve, and I'll be seeing more of that later on as I go on. But it's really nice to hear the sound of rushing water. Been a bit overpowered at times with the sound of traffic on the A57, because this path basically is sandwiched between the brook and the A57, so At the moment, luckily, all I can hear is the water. I like this footbridge. Lovely. Okay, so this is where I move away from the valley now and climb up the other side. Exiting the woods, I emerged onto open moorland as I headed towards the feature I was visiting next. This is the headstone. Never been up here before. It is said that on a certain day of the year, the stone turns its face towards the rising sun. Ah. Well, you can clearly see the A57 going westwards. Just over the horizon it crosses into Derbyshire. Just in the distance I can see some of the stones on Derwent's Edge. Oh well, I've got to retrace my steps now because my way lies this way. It's really nice to be doing another new walk in the Peak District. As I've said before, I'm very familiar with the Peak District that falls within Derbyshire, but not so within the parts that fall within other counties. And although South Yorkshire isn't far from home, I don't come walking in this part of the Peak District very often, so, and as I say, this is a totally new walk. Lovely. This walk is one that I've sort of taken bits from walks that are in books, but generally, as he falls over on his bottom, generally it's my own route. And when I plotted it, it comes to about 8 miles, so not bad at all really. And I got here early this morning because it's May Day Bank Holiday Monday, and I thought, well, the car park that I was going to use, if I don't get there early enough, it's going to be full up, so I think I was very wise in getting there before 8 as I did this morning, so I'm sure by the time I finish the walk I'll find that there's probably cars piling onto the street. We shall see. Having retraced my steps from the headstone, I took a path across the moors to make my way eastwards. An awkward game. Well, only awkward because I'm trying to carry a camera and tripod at the same time. My path dropped into the delightful Reddicar Clough. Meeting a junction of tracks at a signpost, I turned right. Okay, my way's towards Rivelin Dams. I must say this is a very pleasant woodland walk. Yeah, in part of Wyming Brook Nature Reserve. Lovely. I went right again at the next junction, where I climbed up through the woods before emerging onto moorland again. I was now heading south. So this section of moorland is called Ash Cabin Flat. Very nice. A moorland I've not walked across before. So I've got a short walk across here, and then fairly soon I might see something familiar. We'll see. Well, I wasn't sure if I could see, but just over there behind those trees are Red Myers reservoirs, which of course I visited on my last walk, but I can't see them today. No problem. Obviously I enjoyed the last walk, but yeah, they're just literally the other side of those trees. Well, I'm pretty sure that I'm now at the stage of today's walk where I'm going to be seeing the most amount of people today. So even though I've been sort of hopping in and out of Wyming Brook Nature Reserve on today's walk, I'm now going to be officially walking beside Wyming Brook. This is where I fall over and make a fool of myself in front of everybody else. I made it unscathed. Back over the other side again. Lovely. Right. So I think I stick with this side of the brook now. I'm certainly seeing lots of people now, but then it is Bank Holiday Monday. And I do gather that Wyming Brook is a very popular place, and I can see why, the little I've seen so far. This is actually my very first visit to Wyming Brook. Well, aside from a very brief visit to the top of it at the start of my last walk, but no, this is my first proper visit to Wyming Brook, and it is looking fantastic. This is fantastic. What a wonderful place. Wow. I certainly can see why Wyming Brook gets lots of visitors. It was quite funny because there's a couple in front of me. They were behind me back there, but I let them go by. I thought I'll let them get a head start. But I wish I hadn't bothered because the woman, she's wearing sort of these very light, well, pure white trainers. She'd clearly never done a walk properly before, and she was very delicately walking along, because this path is very slippery, you know, very rocky, very slippery. And she was just taking ages, like sort of delicately walking on top of the rocks to make sure she didn't slip on her bum. Yeah, they're a bit ahead of me now, but yeah, she was taking ages just now. Yeah. But yeah, this is fantastic. My favourite saying now, that was absolutely wonderful. Wyming Brook, just, yeah, absolutely wonderful. My first time I've been here properly, it was fantastic. I could see why it's popular. And again, it's not far from home, but it's just another area of the Peak District that, well, until today, I've not visited before. Okay, on I go now then. I followed the track heading east, soon reaching the reservoirs of Rivelin Dams. So I'm at Rivelin Dams now. I could just see these reservoirs from a distance a little earlier. Not really seen these properly before either, because although the A57 is just over there, and I've driven up that plenty of times before now, you can't really see the reservoirs from the road. So, as I always say, you've got to park your car, get out and walk. You see much more. Rising away from the reservoirs, I took a path climbing the hillside as I walked through the lovely Fox Hagg. Eventually reaching Lodge Lane, I had great views back up the Rivelin Valley. I walked up the road for a few metres before cutting left to a path along the top of the valley. There's not much further for me to go now. I've just checked the map and it's a fairly level walk through Blackbrook Wood. Very pleasant bit of woodland here. There's a golf course just over there. So in a minute I should be dropping steeply down, crossing over the A57 again, and then I'll be back in the Rivelin Valley. Just a short walk back to the car park where I parked my car this morning. Yeah, so it's a good 8-mile walk today. Quite a bit of up and down, but as I say, it's a lovely walk. And of course the beauty for me, bonus for me, is the fact this is a completely new walk for me. Blimey, there's people swimming in the water there. But that's flipping cold. Yeah, oh well, each to their own, as I always say. Okay, well, back in the Rivelin Valley now then. Just a very short walk back to my car. And it's been another wonderful walk today, so can't fault it. Lots to see. Yeah, a lot to see in 8 miles. But yeah, don't regret it at all. It's been nice to do a completely new walk for a change. I'm looking forward to doing more walks in the Peak District that fall within Sheffield.